everybody. Welcome back to Stinker, Drinker, Thinker, a podcast about liquor. Obviously, we're three guys. We pour some pours, we make some cocktails, and we rank them in this very unique, world-renowned ranking system we've developed known as the Stinker, Drinker, or Thinker. We'll tell you which ones we think it is. I am Anthony Longano, known around the world for the Covenant Longano charm. Ask your mother about it. And I'm joined here by the Michael Jackson-looking white shirt guy, Troy the Body Vigliotti. Troy, join me in a group hello.
How are you?
Hey, how are you?
How are you? Hey. How are you? And then there's Matt McKibble. Matt is wearing his classic black and blue. We're always matching. He's got the collar on tonight. You always got this. What do? You just buy
you put the collar on?
Yeah.
I put it on. I took it off after last night, Troy, because I thought that'd be a little weird to wear that to the podcast. But
the one that your wife's got for you, the one that he's got for you.
Well, they're both a little bit different. One's a little spikier.
That's got to be Kate's.
Yeah, well, keeps me on a tight leash, you know. So
gotta be Kate's.
it's good for me.
Well, yeah. If you're new here, we like to have a good time. We speak in absolutes 100% of the time. We're wrong most of the time. Probably. We don't know because we don't fact check ourselves. We leave that to the deep subs of Reddit,
The dark web.
Yeah. But yeah, we know a thing or two, but we don't know a thing or three. Let's put it that way.
We know a thing or two, but we don't know a thing or three.
Yeah.
Well said.
You like that? Yeah,
And we don't care about a thing or four.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah. It really doesn't matter.
We give a fuck about four.
Yeah. Well, what's been going on? We haven't seen each other.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, you guys have been listening to us, but we haven't seen each other in a few. Troy
That's
Vigliotti.
me.
Troy Vigliotti got a vacation, everybody.
Hey!
So Troy went back to visit some family and friends in New Jersey and Philly, and I think he went to Manhattan.
I did.
Yeah. And first time in a while, you got to spend, what was it like? It was like 9 days at home?
10 full days.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I did that recently, too, and it was worth it. As much as I hate New Jersey, it was worth it. So when you left, this is a great story. I want to hear this. So what was your game plan of transportation getting there, and what came of it?
Well, are you talking about my camping
Yeah.
excursion?
Yeah.
You want me to tell this story?
Yeah, I do. So Troy stopped in Pittsburgh, which is halfway between Indiana, like literally almost halfway between Indiana and New Jersey. And what were you planning on doing there?
It was like an hour and a half outside of Pittsburgh. I went for a hike. I went for my first hike in well over a year. Because I figured I would split the drive and do an overnight camping stint and just get a little one-on-one with nature time.
One-on-one with the body?
One-on-one with the body. Yes. The hike was good, but I ended up camping in my car because I couldn't find I got lost. I was running out of daylight.
Well, what was the objective? It was like and it's not like a normal hike and you camp in the woods. It's the way you explained to me. It's like you get to the spot,
Yeah.
you hike 5 miles, and then you sleep in like a teepee or something, right?
Sure. 6 miles was the one that was how long it was going to be. And yeah, I mean, like, I don't own a tent personally. I'm not a major camper, but I also didn't really want to stay in a tent. And I found that these, I don't know where I found them, but they call them Adirondack lean-tos. So they're like 3-sided sort of log cabin type deals. And they, like for just me, I mean, the fucking reservation cost me $11. I was like, yeah, I'd rather do that than get a hotel or stay in an Airbnb or something like that. And figured I would just light a fire and drink some bourbon and listen to music and shit like that. Maybe eat a PB&J, drink a bottle of water.
The necessities.
Yeah. But somewhere along the line, about 5 miles into this hike, there wasn't a hike anymore. I didn't know where I was. I really don't know why you wanted me to tell this story.
Because I think it's awesome.
You got lost in the middle of the woods?
Got lost in the woods, losing daylight. What happened?
I got rescued by a police officer, but it was an off-duty cop. Not even in his jurisdiction. He was just, I think, probably maybe on vacation himself, going fishing with. I think he had like 5 kids in his truck. So he was nice enough to stop and give me a ride back into town. He didn't really know his way around town, so it's not like he could bring me to where I needed to be, which would have been great. So he brought me back. I befriended some people at the local pub in Ohiopyle, Pennsylvania. Actually, the bartender felt so bad for me, she just bought me my first beer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and god damn it was like one of the best, most refreshing beers I've ever had.
Yeah, I know, man.
I've been hiking for all fucking day.
It really was amazing. You know, and she had a friend who's got a local Airbnb, but then that fell through, and then she's like, "Well, we actually have these like canopy type tents right outside, and people just crash out here, like, you know, right outside the pub. I think that there's lodging attached to the pub as well, like indoor lodging, but I don't know. It's just like seems like kind of a free for all out there.
Yeah.
And I had my sleeping bag and I had everything I needed, and I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll just crash outside. And she's like, well, just beware of those train tracks, really close. And I'm like, how bad could it be? And I, you know, about to attempt to knock out, and a train comes, and I don't know if I've ever heard anything louder in my entire natural life than this train coming by. I felt my whole body just rumbling, and I was like, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
So my car was close enough. I slept in it upon drinking a flask of Buffalo Trace, and put myself to bed, woke up nice and early in the morning, and headed on home.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very, very resourceful.
Very resourceful.
It's kind of like if you are friendly, you can meet people. And if you meet people, you can pretty much get around.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
kinda
you're
like-
lucky you saw that cop, because, like,
Oh God, yeah.
dude,
I'm
you're
not
losing
trying not to think about
daylight,
it too
lost
much.
in the middle of the fucking woods.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you would have ended up sleeping in your sleeping bag next to a tree or something.
Yeah.
Like, if you had to, but.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
But didn't you say you were, like, on some private property? You got lost and ended up on some, like, dude's road?
Basically, yeah. And so I saw this house, and I think I was about to be trespassing. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna turn around, and I figured by turning around, I could find my way out of there. But the cop told me I was heading toward a dead end. So it would have been.
How do you say it?
Dude, this is like a horror movie
How do you
starting.
say it? Hey, Troy, you're heading towards a dead end. Because that would be ominous, and I would be scared.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like, literally, that whole thing sounds like a horror story, like a horror movie.
I did pretty well, all things considered, and I was laughing about it right when I got to the pub. I was like, "Yeah, that's just life."
Yeah. Imagine if you had to knock on that house that you were trespassing.
Oh, I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
what
crossed
other
my mind.
choice would you have? Like,
Yeah.
you know, that guy could either led you to your Adirondack leaner or whatever,
Yeah.
or pretended to drive you into town and then drove you to the dead end.
Yeah.
The dead
And
end.
just like, you know, like
Very dead end.
shoot you, lock you in his basement, and, like, you know.
Is that going to
Yeah.
be the name of the theme of this? Because we're doing some things later that are themed.
No, we're actually probably doing that first.
Yeah, I was like, I just thought about that. I was like,
Yeah.
man, this is gonna be like a Halloween themed.
So we're gonna do 2 pours tonight.
What are we doing tonight?
Just 2 pours of some limited release stuff that we got our hands on. This is the Blood Oath from Lux Row. It's the Pact 8, this year's one.
Can you imagine you show up to someone's house? Hey, what'd you bring? I got a sleep bag and some bourbon for Under the Stars. Oh, which bourbon? Blood Oath. Hey, sir, I'm gonna need you to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna do that one, this one, and then Matt just got the new Woodford Reserve. Is that the Masters Collection? Is that what it's called?
No, it's just the batch proof.
Oh, the batch proof. Okay. What is the one I have?
You have the I think it's Masters Collection. I think is what they're
Yeah,
called.
it's Masters
The
Collection.
5 malt stout?
Yeah, I have the 5 malt stout. So what? I mean, we'll start with the Blood Oath, but then I guess you can tell us.
Yeah, it's
about that one.
118.4. So
Okay.
it's pretty.
Yeah, Blood Oath is not.
Yeah.
This one, I want to. It's 98.6. Really cool, really hard to find, limited bottle.
Go figure.
MSRP is $119. You'll see it for fucking $500-600. If you sometimes you'll see like a 3-bottle release of like different years at Total Wine for like
Yeah, they do
800
trilogy
bucks,
packs,
like
yeah.
trilogy packs. I'm not a big fan of the box. I'll tell you that. I mean, it's cool. It comes in a nice wooden box, and like it's the the logo and everything is burnt into it, which is kind of cool. But like, fucking stain your box. Booker's stains their box.
It somehow feels so nice and so cheap at the same time.
Yeah, like you could, and it's like stapled together. I don't know. That's kind of a turnoff, especially like if you find this and you're a secondary shopper, like $500 for a box that needs to get sanded. I mean, and I've tried. Matt, you have pack 6?
5?
Yeah,
5.
Yeah, and it was not
6
good.
is the blue one. Yeah, it's 5.
It was not good. I remember trying it at your birthday last year.
It's okay.
I did have a pour of this a couple weeks ago, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. So it's a Lux Row product, and yeah, it's one of those where like I'll try them if I can, but I haven't had a great experience with the ones I've tried. So I haven't tried this one yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, I've decided I'm not gonna like seriously hunt them, but if it's presented to me, I'm gonna buy it.
That was one of these situations where someone called me saying, "I have this on MSRP. Do you want it?" I'm like,
yeah.
All
and
right.
I appreciate you picking up for me.
Yeah.
Matt knows last year I hunted very hard for this.
Yep.
For pack 7, and I struck out.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say no, and then I remembered you wanted it. I was like, all right. Well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. The actual bottle itself is dead sexy. I love their logo. It's got like this like wax mark or seal on it, like and then
It was actually a pact. It's supposed to be like a.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's good. I that part of it I dig. I don't really know any history about the bottle. It's just more one of those things that people kind of hunt and collect.
It's a yearly release from Lux Row,
yeah.
and yeah.
Troy,
They're
want to put it in
always
some cups?
finished in something. I think this one's finished in Calvados. It was called.
Oh, really?
Calvados.
Oh, baby.
It says that on the front
Well,
box.
That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, finished. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about that, Troy?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me while we'll pop it, and then we'll
Okay.
get right up in that Mikey boy. Oh God! Quick and fast.
Does have a good pop.
Yeah. What should we know about? Is it Calvados? Calvados? Do you know?
Calvados.
Calvados. Okay. Assuming type of different type of wood. Is it? What is it? Yeah, these bottles kind of suck to pour. Not gonna lie.
Do they really?
They're not great. Cause yeah. The rounded. I think it's the rounded lip or something.
Thank you, Mr. Buddy. All right, tell us about it.
Well, Calvados is similarly to Cognac and Armagnac, like we were talking about with Cody. It's a village known for specifically apple brandy production. So basically, instead of grapes, using apples to distill and make into brandy. Out of Normandy in France. Yeah, just really good quality apples, and in terms of apple brandy, like Applejack or Laird's, that's like one of those American brands that's really good. But I've had some pretty stellar expressions of Calvados that is so extraordinary sipping by itself. I sometimes prefer it to even the best of the best cognac.
So it's a fortified wine made of.
It's distilled spirit.
Oh, distilled spirit. Okay.
Just like brandy.
Oh, right.
It's
okay.
an apple brandy. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Apple. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can't say that I have had any whiskeys finished in Calvados or apple brandy for that matter. Apple brandy barrel.
I think the only one I know that apple brandy. So we have a Nulu one. We haven't tried the apple brandy Nulu.
Ooh.
I have a grape brandy Nulu.
And grape brandy.
Yeah.
And I think the other ones that I know that do that, I think Starlight does one, if I recall. I know they do a grape. But yeah, it's not super common, I will say. But give us a try.
Yeah.
See what you think.
Classic bourbon on the nose. Not too much bite. Does smell sweet. You get a good amount of the barrel in there.
It's like a very, very, very soft leather.
Yeah.
Like a suede.
Yep. It doesn't smell like most of the Lux Row stuff I've tried too, which is good.
Could be. Could be a good thing. Yeah. I guess I shouldn't have thought apple going into this, but trying not to get apple, but I do get a little bit of like apple flesh, like Red Delicious specifically.
I think it's great. I think when you first get it in there, I think it's everything that it smells like, first and foremost. It's got a really nice residual, just like feel on the tongue. It's still sitting there. Finish is really nice and long, actually. It's nice and sweet on the top of your tongue. But yeah, just it's green fruit. You know, it's bright, but still like dark and fruitful, stone fruit type of deal. Good amount of the barrel, leather, bourbon. It's just bourbon, and it's good. It's well balanced, nice and bold.
Yeah, it smells. I mean, it smells light, a little refreshing. I haven't tasted it yet, but it smells nice.
I would say it's a refreshing bourbon. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is light, leathery, a little fruity. Pretty easy to sip, but a little. It does have a little stringency.
Any idea what the age is?
I'm not sure, but I can check.
Yeah, if you want to check. It tastes like an expensive whiskey, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't taste old. Like it doesn't, doesn't taste like a $700.
It's the middle of its life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it does taste like it's an expensive whiskey. You can tell. I wouldn't spend $700 on it, but if I can find it at MSRP for $120, yeah, this is something I would have. Because of the rarity of it, I probably wouldn't drink it. But
so this is 8. Okay.
Yeah, this is.
So I must have 6 then, because 7 was a blue one. Okay, I was off one number. Okay. So this is a blend of 14, 11, and 8-year rye. It says that was.
I mean, I do get the spice of that. Like it does have a nice spice.
They're calling it a rye bourbon, which assuming just means a high rye bourbon.
It's a high rye bourbon, yeah.
So they say this is actually on the Blood Oath. BloodOathBourbon.com is actually a real thing. Okay. So it's 3 bourbons. High. They call it a 14-year rye bourbon. 2 is an 11-year rye bourbon, and 3 is a 8-year rye bourbon. Yeah. So 8, 11, and 14.
Maybe that's where that. Maybe the high rye thing is making me think that it's not aged. It's definitely. I think that's definitely where you're getting like the green, kind of crispy fruit thing from. Obviously from the barrel finish too.
Yeah.
But it does got a little bit of a rye bite as far as the spice.
I think
but it's not like it's not hot, but like the finish, that feeling on the tongue, it's a little peppery, but it's sweet.
I'm curious. They have. I always like reading their tasting notes after, just to kind of see for reference. Troy, do you have anything to add before I read this?
Not particularly.
Okay.
I think fruit, oak, spice. Yeah.
It's pretty. Yeah, it tastes nice, but it's not like doesn't say like whoa, like this is amazing.
Yeah.
They say aroma, slight apple on the nose with hints of vanilla and cinnamon. I get that. Palate, they say ripe apple, juicy pear combined with butterscotch and hints of chocolate. And the finish is apples, pears, butterscotch, and chocolate.
Yeah, I don't get any chocolate, and I'm usually the first one to point out the chocolate thing.
Yeah, it is a weird phenomenon, and I'm sure everyone can relate to it. Once you read something, you're like, oh, definitely. Though, is it really there? It's so funny how that happens.
I mean, everyone's palate's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's a great bourbon. I don't think it's overly impressive. I don't really know if it's worth the price, but I mean, just classic bourbon notes. I think the barrel finish kind of helps that thin area like kind of bold itself out, and it's got a particularly nice finish. I would say probably I would just call it a drinker. I'd spend $120 on it. I probably wouldn't spend more than that though.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say classic. Like, there are notes of classic bourbon for sure, but it's not like this is not like a classic bourbon. I think it is different enough and way fruitier than a typical bourbon. So it's a little bit more drinkable in that regard if you like fruitier whiskeys in general. I'm gonna go drinker. It's a cool collection piece. The boxes are cool to look on your shelf if you're into that. Otherwise, yeah, if you can try it, but I wouldn't necessarily buy it.
All right. Troy?
I also would have to call it a drinker by default. It's not like the most exciting drinker that I've ever had, but it there's no room for any other call here for me. I don't dislike it.
Yeah, I think overall it's good. It's not great, but it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get that one in the Infinite Drinker here shortly.
All right.
Why don't we cleanse our palate, and then we'll move on to the...
A little bit of quackle break?
Yeah, a little cracker break, and
Okay.
we'll move on to the Woodford.
Let's
Sound
take
good?
a little bit of quackles.
Oh, quack.
This cracker break is brought to you by a story that I'm going to tell about Troy the Body of Glotty.
Oh, no.
Troy, a couple weeks ago, was on his first vacation in a long time, and he went hiking in the woods of Ohiopyle, Pennsylvania, which you can only imagine.
Is it really called Ohiopyle?
Yeah.
Which you can only imagine is in the middle of fucking nowhere and surrounded by, like, Deliverance-style hicks. Troy was hiking, and he was hiking out to this little teepee in the woods. First hike post-hip surgery, doing well, 6 miles. Got a pocket full of bourbon and a knapsack with a sleeping bag in it. He's walking and he gets lost. It's getting dark. It's about 8:30. He walks down this rocky road that says fucking private property everywhere. And this guy, all he's wearing is a jean vest and some jeans, and he's got a MAGA hat on, and he comes walking through. Hey there, how you doing? How you doing? And Troy's like, how are you? And I'm lost. Can you help me? I went, sure thing. I'm Jim Bob. Follow me. We're going to get in the truck. I'll take you to some land. And Troy gets in the car, and there's randomly just these 5 children that have been in the truck. God knows what they were doing there. And Jim Bob's talking in his accent. And he goes, oh, this is a good song. And he turns it up on the radio, and he's like just yelling at Troy. You ever hear of the band Foreigner? And Troy goes, Foreigner? Barely get 3 in her.
Oh, my God.
That was a little riff on a Nick Mignani joke I stole. Thank you, Nick. Anyway.
I like it.
Wow.
Is that really what happened, Troy? I feel like I heard 2 different stories. The same thing. I have
You
to tell
did.
my story now.
You did. You'll have to
What actually happened?
leave it up to your imagination.
All right, Matt, tell us about this bottle.
This is, you want to grab the bottle? This is Woodford. Hey, it's Woodford over here. Woodford batch proof. So every year they come out with a batched proof of Woodford barrels, and they put it together, and they bottle in a cooler bottle than they normally do. So
Really like these bottles. I kind of wish they used these for everything.
they do only for their nice stuff.
The
But
Master's Collection. This is the Master's Collection.
oh, it is part of that. Cool. So they do it 1 year. Like I said, once a year they do a batch proof. This is the 2022, which is 118.4 proof. The way this works is it is the exact same as the Woodford you can go to off the shelf and buy. Exact same whiskey. What they do is they take a bunch of barrels and mash them all together. They blend it all together into a certain flavor profile for that year. And then they just release it as a batched proof, barrel proof bottle, essentially. So this is just a bunch of Woodford uncut, blended together to taste, and bottled right out of the barrel.
How do you like that?
That's it. Super simple. So if you like Woodford and you want something a little bit nicer, and you can find this, they pop out at Costco a lot. They are more hunted now, unfortunately, because people like them, as with all whiskey, unfortunately. So if you like Woodford, you want to buy yourself a treat, you can go for this. I think MSRP
118.
118, yeah, 118, 119, 120, something around there. Most stores, unfortunately, will sell it for like 150 because they want to make a profit.
Where'd you find it?
I found this at Vine and Table.
Oh, yeah.
In Carmel, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 150 there, and it's, I wanted to try it because everyone raved about last year's, and I saw it at Costco and didn't buy it.
You have last year's.
No, I didn't buy last year's. I was going to and didn't buy it.
Okay.
And then everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's so good!" I was like, get the
I don't know.
FOMO,
I
you get the
think
FOMO,
people-
and
I think
whatever.
people go a little too hot.
It's
over
just $150 higher proof Woodford, right? I mean, if you like Woodford, you're probably gonna like it, but
I don't know if I necessarily like Woodford, but Troy,
Right. We'll
put it in a cup, Troy. Let's see what we got.
Okay.
pop it up.
It does say Moss's collection.
Master. Yes, this is the Master's collection. Weak.
Sounds like the master is a little bit of a pussy.
It's got a loose. Never mind.
Oop. No, continue that thought.
Yeah, let me get this for you. Yeah, I have opened this once just to try. I think I've been trying to just do little tastes.
Yep.
Been doing little tastes while I've been working on the podcast and just try. Like that's the only way I'm going to get through all my bottle thing to try them all. So I tried this and we'll see what you guys think about it.
That and being, on Hanukkah, Elf, what I hear what you're going to do this year.
Yeah, don't get too excited, people out there, but we're doing some cool stuff for around the holidays. So we have begun the preparations. It'll probably be a long adventure, but stay tuned. So I get an extreme amount of really like dark caramel vanilla. Kind of smells like cookie dough to me a little bit. We get a little bit oaky.
I get the vanilla. It's more of like a vanilla extract, too. That's
get-
probably where you're getting the cookie dough thing from.
Yeah. Do you like the dark, like very brown sugar?
The very brown sugar.
Very
Extra
dark.
brown sugar. Extra molasses.
Very dark.
Yeah, I can get like a batch of cookie dough that has too much vanilla extract in it.
Like how I make all my cookies.
Yeah.
Ask my wife. It's like 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm like, 2 tablespoons is probably good.
Why would you do
Dude,
that?
I love vanilla extract. I love vanilla. So good.
That's so fucking
It's
gross.
so good, dude. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's got some heat on it.
Mm-hmm.
Being, batch proof, but
Troy stuff?
Let's taste.
Okay. Let's. Definitely
I
hit
enjoy
you.
the palate a lot.
it's still going. It's still evolving.
Sweet vanilla. Really a sweet oak, honestly.
It's like if you were drinking vanilla extract out of an oak tablespoon.
Mm-hmm.
Very smoky. Obviously hot.
I like it. I like
It kind of like evolved from like this vanilla licorice thing. It just kind of faded to like this sweet, kind of spicy. It's got like it's almost got like a little bit of like this, like reminds me of a little bit of like a Michter sour mash, a little bit with the barrel char. I bet that's a higher char level.
You hear they're releasing a toasted barrel?
Oh, yeah. Sour mash toasted barrel.
Oh, sick.
Oh, my God, yeah. This comes out in September. So
Does it?
Yep.
We're gonna get some bottles next month, dude. I'm telling you,
They might be releasing it around that time on purpose.
dude.
So.
I mean, I guarantee you, we're gonna get a lot of
The
cool
Willet,
bottles.
just hit Indiana. The Willet. So I just saw someone post, a big red guy just posted he got the Willet. We did bourbon.
We're gonna get it when we go to Willet.
I hope so.
We're gonna be at Willet right when they open their doors. So I think that's our first tour is Willet.
Yay.
Yay. But the other W in the room, Woodford.
I'm not a Woodford. The only Woodford I've really ever truly enjoyed was that 5 malt stouted mash.
really like that.
I really like it a lot.
Me too.
I didn't like the first time, but I bet I would like it
Yeah,
after it's opened.
yeah. You have one too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I really like that one. I mean, that one's half gone. Obviously, about a year old now.
Yeah, I would say that upon first diving into that one, that was one bottle where I said I overpaid, honestly. But I'd like to go back to it.
I think I paid $120 for it. And I think
That
it's worth
to me
it.
felt
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second hit here. It's complex. Like that's the big thing. It's complex. It's got like this great sour vanilla extract, kind of raw cookie dough thing. The cookie dough is a good hit, Matt. That's one of your better tasting notes.
A shell of cookie dough.
Yeah. It's like a cookie dough that you leave out and air touches it, it gets a crust. That's what you're talking
there
about.
you
Yeah.
Yeah,
the shell of a cookie
dried cookie dough.
Yeah. The finish is good. The nose is just like is what it is. I mean,
the nose is like a hot Woodford. I mean,
Yeah.
really.
I'm going to tell you, I'm not really overly impressed with the overall taste.
Really?
I do like it. I like the complexity of it, and I feel like I'm just like. I mean, there's like this bitter thing on the finish.
I think it's the bitterness from the oak or the char or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it, I don't know if I think it's pleasant or not. I think I might just call this a thinker.
Interesting.
Because I don't know. It doesn't suck, but like, I'm not, I wouldn't be excited to take this off the shelf and drink it or pour it for someone to impress them. Like that 5 malt or that 5 malt or whatever it is, the stout and mash, whatever the fuck it is.
5 stout. Whatever.
Yeah, I would literally, I poured that for people. It's like, I think someone was down here. Was like, hey, what's one of the my collection was a lot younger at this point. It's like, what's one of the most interesting whiskeys
That would
you have?
definitely qualify.
And that's good. And I was like, yeah, let's try this. Like, and that's exactly like I would grab that and I would show it to people. This I just think it would sit there, honestly.
See, I think this is more. This to me, this is a little bit less thinkery, but more drinkery than the 5 stout. To me,
yeah, I disagree. I think you need to get back into that one.
No, sure. I mean, I would like to. Yeah, I'm gonna go. It is too. Not too interesting is a bad word, but it's a little more too complex to be just a drinker. I do enjoy the palate quite a bit. I also like Woodford. I mean, it's probably one of the earlier ones I got into that I liked. I'm gonna go thinker drinker. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. I guess I'll give it a drinker thinker. I think it's more of a drinker. I also think it drinks more like $100+ bottle than the Blood Oath.
It tastes fancier too.
I just think I think it's more complex.
Interesting.
Personally, I like it.
I think it's more bold for sure. I think that the Blood Oath has a more subtlety to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I agree.
Yeah.
Do you have any like? I don't know if you said, maybe I missed it. What was your tasting notes on it?
I think it just tastes like Woodford. I think it tastes like bourbon. I didn't really say them because brown sugar, vanilla, maybe some honey. I don't really get much fruit.
Yeah, do I?
Yeah.
Do you get that bitter thing I'm talking about?
I get a little bit. I get it's more of it comes off more of a char or an oak to me. But yeah, I like it. I don't,
Yeah, I don't dislike it, but I probably never would drink it again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the cost of a bottle of Woodford? $20 or $25 or?
Oh, I think it's more than that.
Yeah.
I think it's like $35-$40
Yeah.
for a bottle of Woodford.
Well, double oak now is like
65
60 or 70 or something insane. But
which is dumb.
yeah, I guess the question I have to think of is it 4 times the price of regular Woodford or whatever, 3 times the price? Like I don't know. I think, like I said, if you like Woodford, you're gonna like this a lot. If you can handle, if you like hot whiskey, or even you can. The real question would be, could you? This is probably blended to a little bit different of a palate than a standard Woodford, but could you water this down to make it taste like Woodford?
Yeah, you put it on a cube, or
if you water it down to like 80 or 90 proof, whatever. I said 90.4, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean,
it'd be interesting. Yeah,
it's small batch Woodford if you think about it.
Kinda.
Like that barrel proof.
Yeah.
Right. So
interesting. You like it more than regular Woodford? You're in your
sure. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I do, and I honestly I think that's just because I gravitate towards hot whiskey, and also these are hand selected barrels. Like that they're going to be better barrels sold into a limited release. Like
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, they're both going in then.
Yeah. They're both good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Troy, if you want to get them in there
already,
get on in there.
I'll kind of do some wrap up house cleaning here.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on, don't we?
Do we?
Well, I mean, we have contests, or we have
I mean
giveaways, and we have
guys, we record these episodes a few weeks in advance. At least we've been trying to, just so we don't fall behind in content like we all did a couple months ago. I'm I don't know exactly what's going on the Instagram, but we've been running weekly giveaways, and usually it's a bottle of liquor or a collection of liquor, a sample of the Infinite Drinker. That's probably coming if you haven't seen that already. Followed by a stinker drinker thinker
Swinger.
Swag pack, which is usually a T-shirt, depending on what type of giveaway it is. Glencairn, stickers, drawstring backpacks, those types of things. So if you're not following us along on Instagram, please do. We're giving stuff away constantly. And just so you know why we're doing that, too, it's not just because we're nice people, because we're not. We don't want to just give away our liquor.
I kind of do.
Yeah.
I don't drink it.
Matt,
so.
yeah, I don't.
I need to give it away because I literally got to the point where I can't drink it all, so I need to share it with somebody.
Yeah,
so.
That's very kind of Matt. My mind is like, please share this shit with your friends. Like, tag your friends on there. I'll happily give them free liquor if they subscribe, follow, like, and share. That's all we want. If you like us, someone else out there might like us too. So, we greatly appreciate you. It basically, think about the giveaways as like a referral reward program.
We should run a referral.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever can get the most friends to like or subscribe in a certain amount of time, we'll give them something nice.
Yeah.
We could run that. We could do something like that.
Yep. Maybe Matt will give him one of his Eagle Rare store picks or his Four Roses store picks. Because I'll never drink him.
Maybe. I think if it's a good enough giveaway, I think if we like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Troy are also going to the Bardstown Bourbon Festival in a few weeks.
Ooh.
Which we were just kind of talking about before. We have tours. We're going down a few days early. The festival's on Friday and Saturday. We're going down on Wednesday. Wednesday we're doing Willet in the morning, and then we're hanging at Bardstown Bourbon Company, doing a really cool tour there, getting lunch there. I heard they got a great kitchen there. Very much looking forward to that. Thursday, we're waking up bright and early, and we're going to Fort Roses. And then we're going to spend the whole afternoon at Buffalo Trace, which should be fun, tours both places. Friday, we're waking up, we're going to Heaven Hill. We got a nice tour there, which is going to be fun. I can't remember. That tour is supposed to be good because I think we get to taste like a bunch of the really old shit from their library.
Oh, nice.
Which is really cool. And then we're actually heading to the actual Bourbon Festival.
We're gonna worry about palate fatigue at some point.
Man, I'm literally going down there to learn.
Yeah.
Especially like the seminars and stuff like that we get to do. But also, I'm going down there to buy liquor.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of, and I'm gonna buy. Matt's like, I'm gonna Venmo you $1,000. Just buy 2 of everything.
Whatever you see, please.
Yeah.
Buy it.
Then we're coming back bright and early on Sunday to watch the Giants kick the shit out of the Panthers. So, Matt's a Panthers fan.
This is gonna be a good game. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, it's not. You got fucking Baker. I don't want to talk about this.
Bakey boy.
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna fucking lay the smack down on your Rudy Poo candy ass. So that's coming up. We'll probably do some Instagram live stuff from there, and then I think whatever the coolest bottles we find down there, I think we'll review them on the episode wrapping up coming on there. So
we could do like a bottle, like a some people do like what you found, kind of like a bottle reveal episode, or like, hey, here's a cool things, or we'll go over the trip and we'll talk about the bottles we found.
Yeah, maybe I'll blind pour them for you guys.
Be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be kind of cool. But other than that, we really appreciate your support. The last few months last month, I guess, since we kind of moved into this space and got back to our roots or whatever, like we talked about. It's definitely been a lot more enjoyable for us, but we can tell it's been more enjoyable for you too because we can see you. We know what you do. We know how long you watch. We know where you are. We know where you are when you're watching. We know what you're wearing.
Get your hands out of your pants, man.
We know what you're wearing. Dude. Adam, I know what you're wearing, bud. No, I'm just joking.
I know what you're going to be wearing in 3 weeks when you listen to this episode.
Yeah. I could just... Adam, the gentleman, is one of our good friends on here that luckily, he was one of the first podcast listeners. Lucky to find him on the internet, man. He's a good dude. I actually just won our Eagle Rare giveaway a couple weeks ago. I actually sent him out a little sample of
You're welcome.
The China liqueur as well.
Oh, cool.
Because he's been wanting to make some drinks and he can't find it.
Yeah.
But I can just picture, Adam, this is how I picture you. And we have to have you on this podcast at some point. I really want to do that. I just picture you always in a bathrobe with like a pipe, like a smoking tobacco pipe, and just like a nice like $75 glass with something awesome in it.
Chianti.
Yeah, not Chianti, but like just some exotic spirit or cocktail that you and your wife found like on one of your trips to Maine, or when you take the kids to Disneyland, like, or Disney World, dude's always messing with tiki cocktails too. I'm kind of jealous.
I'm very jealous.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, appreciate you. We'll be back. Coming up, we have a little bit of a special episode. We're going to be going over the classic old-fashioned, but we're going to be talking about smoked old-fashions and smoked cocktails in general, and we're going to talk about a specific smoker that was given to us to review on here. So that's coming up. Stay tuned for that. Troy?
Troy.
Yodelay.